Hi there, my name is Josh Cadillac. I know you've all heard of short sales, but I wanted to give you the best reasons I could come up with why short sale is probably the best option for you. I came up with 16 reasons why I think short sale is the best option available out there to most people in most situations. Reason number one, and probably the best reason, is because the alternative, foreclosure, is horrible. In fact, it's specifically designed to be punitive. Punitive means punishing. The bank and, well, the system in general has designed foreclosure to be kind of like what happens to somebody when they snitch in the mafia. They don't just bring the person in and kill them. No, they devise some horrible means of torturing and killing the person, usually involving bringing the person's family in and torturing and killing them, and then killing the person themselves. That's kind of what foreclosure is to your financial future and well-being. It's designed to destroy it, to just make a mess out of it. And it's very, very, very difficult to recover from, and usually people don't recover at all. The second reason to do a short sale is to get rid of a negative equity position. What negative equity is basically, let's say, to use round numbers, you purchased a house for $1 million, all right? And you have an $800,000 mortgage on this $1 million house. Market changes, kind of like what we've experienced here, and now the house is only worth $400,000. Well, equity is the portion of the house that when you bought it for $1 million, that $200,000 that was above the $800,000 mortgage, that was your equity position. When the house's value went down to $400,000, you not only lost that $200,000, you also lost the $400,000 as well. That $400,000 you still owe. So you owe a total of $800,000 on something that's only worth $4. That $400,000 above what the house is worth is called negative equity. A short sale takes that $400,000 problem, which is squarely your problem. You still owe that money. And it takes that problem and makes it the bank's problem. This is a very, very good thing for you. Third reason to do a short sale is to stop payment on a high price, on basically a price that's no longer a market price. What I mean by that is that not only on that, let's use that $1 million example again, not only are you paying on a $1 million house or an $800,000 mortgage when the house is only worth $400,000, so you're going to have to pay back that entire $800,000, you're also paying interest based upon $800,000. Well, if your house is only worth $400,000, you're actually paying interest, not just principal now, not paying back the $800,000. You're paying interest on the entire amount. Every time you write that check out, that's got to really hurt your feelings. Am I right? A short sale gets rid of that problem. Fourth reason is there's usually no deficiency judgment. What a deficiency judgment is basically when you have a foreclosure, the bank files a judgment against you for the difference from what they're able to sell the house for and what you owed on it. That judgment then follows you. So in addition to losing your home, you also get, in the case of our $1 million example, let's say the bank, because it was a foreclosure and you had to leave and they had legal expenses and whatever, let's say at the end of the day they only get $300,000 for the house. Well, that $500,000 between the $800,000 that you owe and the $300,000 that the bank got is called a deficiency. And that $500,000 goes on your credit and on you, and you have to pay that back or declare bankruptcy to get rid of it. Another good reason, reason number 5, there's actually the potential that the bank will, or the government through the bank will give you help relocating. They'll give you funds to relocate. Usually between $3,000 and $5,000 is typical, but it's a lot better than any of the alternatives where you get nothing and a potential deficiency judgment. Reason number 6 to do a short sale. No tax consequence. What do I mean by that? Well, we're talking now about a primary residence. In fact, when we talk about relocation funds, that's also talking about a primary residence. But on a primary residence, the amount of debt that you're forgiven, so let's go back to our example of the $1 million house. You have $400,000 worth of value and $400,000 over the value of the house. You are able to do a short sale and sell it for $400,000. That $400,000 of forgiven debt over the purchase price, you owed $800,000, that you only gave the bank 4, that forgiven debt actually creates a taxable event. You are owing that tax. In fact, there's a 1099 that's given. There's actually been a law passed, I believe it was in 2006, that relieves you of the burden of paying that tax on your primary residence, which basically means that there is no out-of-pocket expense to you in order to do the short sale, which is obviously a good thing. I mean, how horrible is it to lose your home and then have to pay tax on money that you don't even have? Reason number 7. There's a significantly lessened impact to your credit to do a short sale than there is doing a foreclosure. A foreclosure is typically 400 points or more. A short sale, somewhere between 50 and 150. Plus, there's really no way on a credit report to show a short sale. There's no code for it, whereas there is a very specific code for a foreclosure. Reason number 8. You'll be eligible for financing again. Typical conventional FHA, VA financing within 2 years. 2 years, you can go out, walk into any bank with your head held high and ask them for a loan. And that short sale is not going to prohibit them from giving you a loan. Provided you were able to get your credit back up, that 50 or to 150 point shot that you took for doing the short sale, you are ready to buy a home again. You are back where you want to be. Reason number 9, and actually I've already covered this, is that it's not recorded as a foreclosure on your credit. And the reason why that's important is because a foreclosure stays in your credit for somewhere between 7 and 10 years. In order to, and let's be specific about that. It's not just that it goes on for 7 to 10 years. That goes on plus the deficiency judgment will go on. And that deficiency judgment isn't recorded when the bank takes your home. That deficiency judgment is recorded when the bank sells your home. So in addition to having the foreclosure, you have the deficiency judgment. So more than 7 to 10 years, you actually can't declare bankruptcy to get rid of the debt until the bank sells your home. So if they leave it in their pool of homes for a year or 2 or 3, you're waiting to start your 7 to 10 year timeline to get your life back versus 2 years with a short sale. Another great reason number 10, is to take advantage of the incredibly low prices that there are in the market today. What do I mean by that? Well, as you know, prices came down. And because they've come down, there's incredible opportunities out there to, instead of continuing to pay in a negative equity position and wait for the market to go back up and hope that in 10, 15, 20 years your home is worth what you originally bought it for, you could be buying a property now that in 10 or 20 years is going to be worth 30, 40, 50% more than when you bought it, because you're now buying at the low of the market as opposed to when you purchased your previous property at the high of the market. Reason number 11, the quicker recovery, which is something else that we've sort of touched on. Your recovery time from a short sale is 2 years. That means that you're back, moving forward with your life, getting a handle on things. 2 years is not that long a time to rent a home or do what you need to do to get yourself back in order and regain your financial freedom. The other reason number 12, is more of an idea than anything else, which is that it's an elegant option. It's an elegant and sophisticated way of dealing with this problem. And what I mean by that is, you have a problem, the bank has a problem. The bank doesn't want to own the property, and you don't want to owe so much on the property, so much more than the property is worth. So the two of you people, the bank and you, get together and you negotiate. And you take and make the best of the situation that you both are facing. That's what I mean by elegant and sophisticated. It's not just sitting back and saying, oh, take my house, and I'll think about it tomorrow, a la Scarlett O'Hara. We're talking about an intelligent, well thought through way of financial planning, which I think makes it a sophisticated and intelligent option. Reason number 14 is it gives you options. And what I mean by it gives you options is that you can begin the process of a short sale, go through the entire process, and get right to the point where the bank gives you the approval letter, and you can take that approval letter, read the thing over. If you don't agree to terms with that, you can say no. you can walk away. You actually have the option still. There's at no point does doing a short sale preclude you from letting the bank take the property in foreclosure, giving them a deed in lieu, which is basically the exact same thing as a foreclosure. Doesn't preclude you from doing a modification. It doesn't take any of those options off the table. It just gives you one more option. Again, an intelligent choice. It makes the best of a bad situation, which is something we've sort of touched on, but again, we're taking a situation that's bad for you and saying, okay, I got knocked on my backside, let me get up, dust myself off, and pick the option that's best for me going forward. Because you know what? Life goes on. You can't just let this be the defining moment in your life and in your financial history. Reason number 15. This keeps you in the driver's seat. Basically, as I said, if you don't like the terms the bank gives you, you say, guys, you know what? Forget it. You want to take this house back? Alright. You know what? In fact, I'm going to call my friend up, Josh, the guy that made this video up. I'm going to give him a call and I'm going to say, hey Josh, I'm getting ready to move out. How about you and me, we take and leave the bank a special surprise when they get this property back? That right there is the bank's motivation. The bank's motivation for doing this is twofold. They don't want to own real estate and they're terrified that you will do something to the house on the way out that will lessen the value of the home even further. I touch more on this on my foreclosure video, which if you want to see why the banks don't want to do foreclosure, I would recommend that. Reason number 16, no situation I can think of is foreclosure a better option than a short sale. Plain and simple. There is no reason that I've ever been able to come up with. My attorney friends, I posed the question to them. I say, is there a time, is there a place where foreclosure would be the better way to go? The answer is no. They've never been able to come up with one. Now, you may get advice from an attorney that, oh, you should just let it go to foreclosure. And the reason for that is there's a lot of money in bankruptcies. All right? But at the end of the day, for your financial future going forward, with the reasons that we've discussed, I think that short sale is an option you should definitely look more into and research. Really get into it because it's your financial future. And I think that it's important for you to take charge of that. Don't let indecision make the decision for you. My name is Josh Cadillac, and I am creating the new standard in real estate.